Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thanks for watching today. I wanted to do a first impressions and wear test of the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation and her Magic Vanish Under Eye Corrector. So I have a huge love affair with Charlotte Tilbury products and already have both of her other foundations. Of these two, the Light Wonder is my favorite. I've gone through nearly half of it, and this I've used till about, I guess, maybe a third of it. I think that picking this up may not have been a completely wise choice because it is supposed to be a matte foundation, but it's staying all day, and that's really what I want in a foundation. I want it to last. All right, so before we get started on this first impressions, I wanted to say thank you so much for watching. And if you aren't already subscribed, would you please? All right, I am going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Primer for priming my face today. I haven't used this in so long. Part of it was because after I first picked it up, it was much deeper in tone and it really looked like a layer of dark on my face. That's my phone, excuse me. It really, oh, it still does look significantly darker. All right, well, you know, it's on there. We'll put it in. Over the last, I would say almost 2 years, my skin color has gone from vampire pale, like some shades did not come, some foundations did not come in shades fair enough for me, to more fair to light, depending on the foundation, the shade range. Oh, this really does give a glow. I forgot about that, but it is very pretty. It's also quite hydrating. It was like, do I put this on or do I put this on? This is much more hydrating, so I thought I'd stick with what's like actually a primer. All right, I'm so excited by this. I truly, truly am. Look at this. Oh, hello, gorgeous. The other thing that I'm really excited to try, if I can get it open, is this. I deal with the worst under eye circles. And this little beauty here, this is in the shade Fair. She has 4 shades of this, but it's basically a peachy colored corrector. I love also, this is really silly, but I love that it's like a mini of the Flawless powder. I love this powder. This little gold compact has always been my favorite, but now that this comes in a little teeny tiny guy and even has a little baby mirror, it's so cute. All right, so I'm gonna start first with the foundation, then we're gonna put on this Magic Vanish. Let's see how we do. For this endeavor, I am pulling out my very last unused Beauty Blender. I know, I just feel like this is my favorite all-time sponge. Not at a favorite price, but I think it's, for application, I don't think that there is really anything that comes close to the application that you can get from this. All right, so I happen to have the shade 2 Neutral. I'm gonna just pump some on the back of my hand. Oh, that's a half pump. I'm gonna go like a half pump more. Not a lot. We'll see if we need more. So I'm just going to lightly dot this on the face. Let me grab a mirror. And I'm going to use a Beauty Blender on one side and a foundation brush on the other. All right. Boy, this is really high coverage. I can already tell by the formula feels just a little thicker. I'm going to disperse it a little bit and then we'll move it around with our sponge. Do you see how much I still have on the back of my hand? A lot. All right, so I know this can be totally full coverage, but that's usually not the look that I prefer. I prefer more of a natural skin-like finish. Oh, look, the big, giant blemish there that I picked up. Don't do that. I'm always telling my kids, do what I say, not what I do when it comes to picking. I am the worst. I'm a terrible picker and I shouldn't, and There we go. Okay, we're gonna do this side of the nose. I also am very curious to see how much of my dark circle just the foundation can kind of take care of. And redness around the corner of my nose and center of my chin where I do get really, really red. I think it's a really beautiful, now remember, I don't wear full coverage. I like more medium coverage or even light to medium, erring more on the light medium instead of the light or the medium, that light medium right in the middle. I feel like the older I get, if I wear something that's really full coverage and very heavy on the skin, it really ages me. And I found that using a dampened sponge really does help to sheer out the foundation. So I can wear something that is very full coverage, like this product here from Charlotte Tilbury, or Double Wear from Estee Lauder, or the Juvia's Place foundation, and really get a gorgeous but not too heavy and cakey look. So I can definitely see that we're definitely more perfected. Now, if I were to keep going, I would definitely get more coverage, but I'm liking where it's at. I can see that I still have a lot of, I picked up some melasma last summer, like right in this area and right over here. I can just barely see it. I bet you if I were to just tap a little bit right here and pounce it in, it would go away. Oh yes, melasma, what melasma? I still have quite a bit left on the back of my hand, but that's not enough to do with the brush. So I'm going to give myself another full pump, and we're going to use the brush on the other side. But I'm still going to dot it with my finger. I find that if I don't do that, my brush really eats up the product, and I want it to be distributed. Wow, that's a lot more coverage. That's too much. Oh, I got way too much on my brush. I didn't even take the full pump. I still have a large amount of it. That was probably half a pump. Too much. I feel like this 2 Neutral is a really good shade match for me. I don't feel like there's a lot of discrepancy between my neck and my face. I wonder if you can tell the difference. I have a lot more coverage on this side than this side, but I also see the foundation quite a bit more. Maybe let's zoom in and take a look. So this is the side with the brush, and this is the side with the sponge. I feel like this side, it looks more skin-like, and it definitely looks more natural. And this way, I can really see like some texture right in here. I feel like it's already hitting me in the crease, right here in this nasolabial fold, and in the corner of my nose. I'm gonna have to go over this with a sponge because I'm worried that if I don't and pick up some of that excess product, it's just not gonna wear well no matter what we do. I feel like this looks a lot better. I still have a very generous amount on the back of my hand. Since we're already in really tight, let's see how this guy works. I don't know if I can use this little tiny baby mirror to do this. It's very small. Ooh, it's very creamy. Very creamy. Let's see if we can say goodbye to some of these dark circles. You can still see it a little bit this way. I always have just a little bit of discoloration right out here. I'm still seeing some very significant, I don't know, how much of this do I need to use? I'm going to use this angled brush here. I'm going to pick up some of this product with my brush. I feel like with my finger I'm just moving it around and I'm not really getting it pressed in where I want it. It's really quite emollient. I feel like if I keep putting on any more, it's just going to be sliding all over the place. Let's keep going. You can very definitely tell that it's very much a peachy corrector. It's not that much different in tone from the foundation. So I'm using Charlotte's Magic Away Concealer. I just put some on the back of my hand. I know that's a lot. I kept clicking and it wasn't coming up and it wasn't coming up and I was like, where are you? And then I realized that sometimes it gets stuck in the sponge. I'm going to use this same little brush here to see if we can cover up some of this peachiness. Before I set my face today, I thought we'd just talk about a few things. I am seeing that because Where'd you go? Where are you? Hello? You're so tiny. Can't find you. So this is the Magic Vanish. This is that peachy colored corrector that Charlotte just came out with when she came out with the Flawless Finish foundation. It's really quite emollient. That's not a bad thing. The one thing that is causing me just a few problems is that I have a lot of it kind of gathering in some of the fine lines right underneath my eye. I don't know if you can see that. So at this point, I'm going to try and press it in and then quickly set with the Airbrush Flawless powder. Okay, I'm not going to blink and we're going to set this. Did you just see what happened? My whole eye area, just where I powdered, is darker. I don't feel like this actually happens when I use this powder with other concealers. And I know that they're meant to be used together because they're all Charlotte Tilbury products. But I feel like we're a little darker here. And I don't think it's the peach from the Flawless, or the Magic Vanish. I don't think it's from this guy. I think it's from the powder. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just using the magic powder for the rest of my face. I feel like it's a little bit lighter. To me, the shame is not being able to successfully pair these products together. This is probably my favorite Charlotte Tilbury product. It's hard to say that, but this is the one that I've fallen in love with first and I've used the longest, and I've gone through, I think this is my 4th one of these. I love this. And I am in the shade 1, which is fair, which is the lightest shade they have in this. And the fact that I really feel like my under eyes are significantly darker, that's distressing to me. I'm not happy about that. And normally products all within the same line are meant to be used together. We'll see. So this is the look for today. I'll make sure to link below everything that I use, mostly Charlotte Tilbury products, a few others that crept in here and there. But for the wear test today, I'm gonna check in twice. I'm gonna check in later on in the day, and then again before I wash my face and go to bed for the night. It's late in the morning. It's about 10:45, 11 a.m. right now. I wanted to get this on earlier, but I had to wait for it to come. I got it dropped off by UPS, and thankfully my part of town is the part that gets dropped off earlier as opposed to the 5 or 6 p.m. on the other side of town. So I'm really, really glad to have gotten it. Otherwise it would have to wait another day. So let's just call it 11 o'clock now. It's like 10:52. But that's where we're at, and this is what it looks like. So the glow here, part of it is from this. I use this finishing spray, and the other part of the glow is from the highlighter in the Bronze and Glow here. It's a very pretty but very subtle natural. It doesn't look quite as blinding as the Bar of Gold, and it definitely looks more, I don't know, maybe more perspiration. Not in a bad way, but just kind of like everything is melted into my skin nicely. So as I'm looking at it right now, the one thing I will tell you, I do really notice my pores, like right here. I think that had I used a pore filling primer, I wouldn't be in this situation. I also see, oh boy, the older I get, the more this is happening. I have little teeny tiny, like right in the corners of my mouth, that are starting to kind of little creases that are coming down this way. They're really only a few millimeters, but they're definitely there. And just a hair of product is settling there. Corners of my nose looks good. My smile lines and forehead. Oh, wait. Oh, I've got some settling into one of the larger creases in my forehead. This is why you should never look at yourself with a mirror, and never a magnifying mirror. I don't own a magnifying mirror on purpose. But I feel overall it has a really pretty look. Let's see how it wears. I'm curious how the under eyes are going to wear. I feel like, you know, a lot of the darkness is gone. It looks fairly normal from here. I do feel like the powder that I put over the concealer today made it a little too dark for me, but we'll see where we end up. It's basically 10 o'clock, 9:58. So I finished this foundation just after 11. Here's what I'm noticing right now. I feel like there's a very natural sheen. I feel like the oils are starting, and they're not coming through really bad, but I am starting to see just a little bit of natural glow right in through here that is not highlighter induced. I feel like my nose itself, like just the nose, is where I get most oil coming through. I have a little bit of product breaking up right here in this corner, both sides. I also feel like some of the smaller fine lines, like right here inside my nasal labial fold, the product is collecting in there just a hair, and definitely some on my forehead. I'm just going to turn the light down a little bit. You might be able to see this better. Oh, look, there you go. These are the lines in my forehead. When I have the lights way up, it blurs it all out. But I have lines just like everybody, unless you're 12 years old. So I do feel like some of these deeper lines here, I am seeing the product settle in there. And a little bit like right here in the crease, and a little bit right here within this nasal labial fold right through here. Not so much on my right side, but my left side is, I tend to smirk, and so this goes that way a little bit more. So I definitely have more of a nasal labial fold line here than I do on the right side. If I can't smirk the other way, I just grimace and make a weird face. The other thing I am noticing is that I do have some product collecting right underneath my lashes, my lower lashes. And I don't know if that is the fact that this Magic Vanish, this color corrector, is so emollient, or whether I use too much of the Magic Away concealer. I don't know. But here's what I really want to do. Since I use the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow foundation today, which is really a glowy, illuminating, and hydrating primer. I haven't used it in a while. I want to try this foundation again with my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, just to get rid of my pores, and a little bit of the Lancome Matte Primer, just to keep oils at bay on my nose. I want to see how it works with that. The other thing I want to do is I want to use a different concealer and powder. I want to use the Jouer Essential High Coverage Concealer, which is still my full-time love when it comes to concealer. I use other ones, but that one's, I'm like, I'm using this one today. And with the Huda Beauty setting powder, the baking powder, and I wouldn't use it underneath the eyes. I would just use it across here to kind of perfect my pores, because it does a really great job of doing that with any foundation I use. And so I want to try this again. I want to try this foundation again and see how it does. I think that Charlotte makes beautiful foundations, and I feel like this foundation looks really good at looking like skin. It looks like skin with foundation on it, but it doesn't look so high coverage, and I'm sure you could build it up to be that way, but it still looks like me. And I think the only way you'd notice some of these like really like fine lines and product kind of catching in there is if you were like 2 inches from my face. I think that if I was sitting across the table from you, you wouldn't notice it. And at 11 hours, I think that's pretty good. So I'm excited to try it again. I'm not sure that this Magic Vanish is going to work for me, but we're going to give it another go, because I'm always looking for something to hide my under eye circles, because they're pretty obvious. All right, well, I didn't have a chance to check in earlier today. My day kind of got away from me, and I was like, I'll just do a major check-in at night. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor, let me know if either one of these products are of interest to you. I know they're brand new. Let me know what your thoughts are. I was hoping that I would get like utter perfection out of using Charlotte Tilbury only products, from primer all the way through powder, just to set the face. I feel like the rest of my, like the Film Star Bronze and Glow works really well. The Icon palette works really well. My brows are still really in good condition. I feel like I ate my makeup off, my lipstick off, so that's nothing to do with the lipstick. It's more just I ate it all. But I'm curious to see how these guys are going to fare paired with non-Charlotte Tilbury products. I was really expecting like pure perfection today. And the truth is, it's good. It's really good. But I wonder if it can be better if I kind of combine it outside of the brand with other things. All right, so do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't. Share my channel with a friend who you think would enjoy this type of video or the sorts of things that I do. And I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.